that. I scheduled something already, but it seems that I can't seem to get into that. I am not very used to doing live chats, via YouTube, but now we're trying, and again, you'll be able to see this later. Now, are we having fun? Because I am. From the sound of things, it sounds like John Duvall might actually call the cops on me and have them pick me up. He made some post on that to that effect on Facebook. All I gotta say, if they do, I brought the donuts, the good types. Um, so yes, so I am at the Broadmoor Hotel, as I said earlier. It's a five-star hotel in Colorado Springs, and it's just a nice place I'd like to show up to and get a good matcha latte and get some work done without the distractions of my place. In any case, I'm going to talk about the situation with John Duvall and his little meltdown. Okay, so if you haven't been following for the last 48 hours, um, he first started to say that all the stuff about him challenging me and all that, was basically me using AI to deepfake him. Okay, then he started saying yesterday morning that I had been arrested and was taken to El Paso County Jail. El Paso County is the county that Colorado Springs is in, nothing to do with Texas. Of course, I had a little bit of fun with that. I went live on FB. He claimed that I had broken out of my cell and into an interrogation room, hacked into a computer or something, and then went live. And that was the explanation for that. Yeah. So I posted something a little bit later, just running with the gag, no jail can hold the master ninja. At which point he started trying to say that I had broken out of prison, jail, the El Paso County Jail, and was now running around with a stolen cell phone. Um, yeah, he really makes me sound like Jason Bourne or Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible or a ninja. Anyways, if you can't imagine, I'm having a lot of fun with this. So the story has been changed, that I was being held without bond while awaiting transfer to a prison to now supposedly I made bail. Another one is that I'm heavily medicated in a hospital. And as I said before, just as soon as I announced that I was going to go live here at the Broadmoor, he started saying that that he was going to contact the authorities, whoever that is, because I'm heavily medicated and a very dangerous individual. Just for the record, my medication of choice, the only medications I take really is rye whiskey and single malt scotch. But that being the case, people are kind of wondering what the heck's going on, why this sudden meltdown. Um, I can't really say for certain. He's been posting a lot of things about taking shrooms, it sounds like it, and seeing visions. Uh, yeah, this guy lives with kids and has access to guns. Okay, but what really seems to have set it off is that was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. Um, I, again, he started with the whole thing. The whole thing of like it. Uh, well, let me go back in the background. Okay, so 2002, I promised I would put out a podcast on ninjutsu. Come December of last year, I'm like, oops, haven't done it yet. To fulfill my promise, on the last Monday of December, I put up the first of my podcasts. I do it second and fourth Mondays. Previously, John Duvall had failed at his attempt at a podcast because it sucked. I mean, a friend of mine listened to part of the episode and said, that person is not here, not all there. Anyways, so, but it failed. But I was going to put together a podcast, and this enraged him. And I mean, for like a week, he was making messages, he was making posts about it, and really, it was obvious that he was pissed off. January 2nd, 2 days in the new year, he puts up a video challenging me to a fight. Real stable personality, real mature. I mean, he's 40? Okay. But anyway, so I turned around and said, oh, okay. But, I set out the conditions and when it would be, and that would be July 21st, which was Sunday, a couple of Sundays ago. And for a while, for a few weeks, he was gung ho. He was posting, trying to get into groups, Boonjang Unrelated, and post about how he was going to do this. He has videos, like how he's going to come out and beat my ass, and all that. And I've written a book about how the ninjas manipulate people using emotions, and this is a good lesson because even though I wasn't attempting to manipulate him per se, but it does show what anger does. I like to quote something from The Walking Dead, where the character says, anger makes you stupid, stupid makes you dead. Yeah, and this is a good example of it because for weeks he was ready to do it. He was kept talking about it, post after post, video after video. I saved a lot of them. Then things seemed to have caught up with him, and he took down everything, and he just would not mention it. When I made updates to what was going to happen in July, he started responding and saying, "What's this imaginary thing? What's going on? You're making this all up." So I posted the videos. I posted the posts that he had taken down, things like that. For a long time, it was just like that kind of detente, I guess you'd call it. And finally, like around May, he started saying, "Oh, I found out that Don Rowley has changed things, and he wants to do it under these rules," which, of course, he agreed to in January. "And this is not the way of the true martial artist." Okay, whatever. So, and he finally said he wasn't going to be showing up. And, so, again, you go back to the videos on this channel, okay? You can see me posting things about accepting back in January. And July 21st, I put up a live video of me at the meeting spot just in case he tried to show up and say, "Hey, where's Don Rowley? I guess I win." But anyways, so, he's was doing that, just saying that he couldn't show up because it was bad rules. Black squirrel. Anyways, squirrel. Anyway, so I casually mentioned on Wednesday in a place that, on a forum that I know John watches, that he destroyed his chances of ever being taken serious as a martial artist or a master of ninjutsu. He's claiming to be a 7th Dan in an art. In reality, the only rank he got from someone he's ever been in the room with is 8th Q. That's the only paperwork he has, 8th Q in Bujinkan. And if you don't know martial arts, it basically goes from 0 Q or 10th Q, 9th Q, 8th Q, all the way up to 1st Q, and then 1st Dan, black belt, 2nd degree black belts, etc. So you can see he was like yellow belt. Anyways, so, yeah. So then he starts saying that all the videos of him challenging me and talking about it and everything was AI generated, deep fakes, which is just incredible. I mean, if you ever seen the stuff, again, post on my channel, that's too good for AI. That's not deep fakes. I mean, especially the changing angles. Anyway, so he seems to be a little bit unstable, more unstable than usual. So he yesterday posted something saying that I had been arrested for cyberstalking, that I was in the El Paso County Jail awaiting transport to prison without bond. Of course, I just ran with it. I had fun. And as I mentioned, he's been saying that I've broken out, that I'm in all that. So, yeah, so that's a situation. And again, I'm just having a lot of fun with this because, it's just incredibly stupid. I mean, if he, showed up and took his lumps, okay, that'd be something. Not a chance of him coming and beating me, no. But if he wants to get any type of credibility, this is not the way to get it. I mean, this is just stupid. I mean, saying that I've been arrested when if this is a jail cell, they are really too soft on criminals. It's just so easy. I mean, it's not that, he's trying to say that, well, he's changing his story every 10 minutes, but he's trying to say sometimes that I was booked into jail and then I'm out on bond, or I'm in a hospital now or something like that. And, it's incredibly easy to just El Paso County Jail, Colorado Springs, intake, who's been booked there, who's been arrested. And, you look for an arrest record. I've never been arrested for anything, let alone been put in their, okay. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's it. Now here comes the request. A man needs a name. Now there's slander, there's libel, and there's defamation. With slander and libel, basically someone says something untrue about you, it damages you, and you can prove the damage. Then you can. Defamation is when you make an accusation so vile, so severe, that damage is automatically concluded. I mean, you do not have to prove that this hurt you. Okay? It's like if you say someone was arrested on suspicion of molesting their daughter and there's no arrest record, that's it. Toast. You're toast. All they have to do is say, this is what he said. And they have to prove it. I don't have, the other person does not have to disprove it. The person that made the statement has to prove it. And I have been told by someone who is a practicing lawyer, not can't practice inside Illinois where John Duvall is, but someone who is an actual practicing lawyer, that some of the statements he has made rise to the level of defamation. And yes, I am considering all legal options. Okay. Yes. And I've thought about this before, and people have talked me out of it. Like he's a small fry. I mean, he's never accomplished much of anything. He sells bikes of all things. Okay. He's been a customer service rep. Again, he's basically living off of the woman that he's living with. And they said, you won't get much money. It's too far. All that. But there's two things that I'm going to throw out that kind of changes it. First of all, over a year ago, he did the same thing, same accusations, all that. He stepped on somebody else's toes who had legal counsel and was able to go after them. They took everything down. He and his partner, Adam McKinley, they took everything down, went silent and all that. Defamation has a statute of limitations in Illinois for 1 year. On day 366, the fake accounts by John Duvall and all that started right back up. And here we are, okay? So right now, I'm thinking it's best I crush him totally, utterly. Do what I can to just take him down and put it on paper, legal judgment that he was wrong and that he was, that he is, the guy that's slandering me. I mean, that's another thing, is that he's always trying to say, oh, my stalker, who's harassing me, Don Rowley. He is saying that I was arrested, okay? That is harassment, okay? Not a very effective harassment, of course, because he's not very competent. But yeah, that's harassment. And you can see it, anyone can see it. So yeah, so I'm thinking at this point that, bringing him down as much as I can is the best thing, exploring all legal options. Secondly, in terms of assets, he made a post. I do watch him. I do monitor what he says because he talks about me all the time. He made a comment about how he helped the woman he lives with make the payments so that they could get a house. And yes, if you talk to a lawyer, you put money in the house, guess what's called an asset? Yes, the house. So yes, he does have something that I can go after from what I understand. And yeah, but in the meantime, I might be asking for some loans, and it'll be loans again. From what I understand, all I gotta do is, so this is what he said. Now he's gotta prove it. I mean, this might even be a situation where I can go pro se. And I've got people that, willing to advise me pro bono. But yeah, that's that. I've got friends that basically live near St. Louis. They said I could stay there if it's just a case of coming in and driving in, filling out some paperwork, and then turning around and, stay there for a couple of nights. Things like that. But what I, again, what I want to ask people, and again, put it in the comment section if you can. John Duvall works as a bike salesman, shop manager. He's not the owner. He works there. Somebody else owns it. A place called Marion Bikes LLC. And we have been able to confirm and document that a lot of what he is, excuse me, it's starting to rain. Just gonna move over here. Okay. That a lot of what he's posted about me, this stuff that is, basically can take him to court over, has been posted while he's been working, the hours that he has been working at this bike shop. Okay, you can understand that, okay, all of a sudden somebody else's pockets are, open for a raiding by me, But the thing is that looking up Marion Bikes LLC, I've been able to find the residential address of the owner but the name is behind a paywall. Okay. Now I'm cheap, and if I can get around it, if somebody knows, can find a way to get the name of the owner, the guy that or girl that owns the bike shop. So yeah, so if you know how to get the name of this person, I can pass it along to my advisors, and we can send them some paperwork, let them know what's happening. Again, I'm really thinking, not committed at this point, but I'm considering my options. But yeah, again, the house is on the table, from what I understand. The woman that he lives with probably will not be pleased about that. When if she finds out that she's going to lose all the money that she's sunk into the house so far. Yeah, because of John, might throw him out. He might lose, custody of his kids, lose his job, not be able to get a job anywhere else, because who would hire someone that brought a lawsuit on the old job? Homeless, maybe. I don't know. But again, I'm pursuing all options at this point. And if you can get the name of who the owner of Marion Bikes LLC, please let me know. And that's it. But I'm sure that John's going to have a response, and it's going to be kind of very far from lucid. And it's just a case of sitting back and enjoying the fact that I'm seeing him melt down, and I might be looking at my own house, another, to sell off and put the money in my pocket. Anyways, I'm going to try to figure out how to turn this thing off now, because again, I've never done this before. Okay. I feel like Ferris Bueller at the end of the movie. You still here? Go home.
Fred, yeah. So being from, from people around the community.
Anyways.